Is it working? There it goes. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're still working on a name. I'm not entirely sure what we're gonna do just yet, just because I'm trying to figure all that out with like what we do as a drift team and everything and whatnot, blah blah blah. So, plan for this video is, I'm actually not sure. It's probably gonna span over the couple days. Turn the music down just a hair. So yeah, probably gonna span over a couple days. First thing we're gonna attack is getting the thermostat replaced. So I gotta remove like the fan shroud, fan, all that stuff. It's tucked down up under. I'll kind of show you later. After that, I think we're gonna tear in and get the interior pulled out. That way we can get the roll cage and the inside painted. We're definitely gonna do the inside gray, just like the engine made everything. I don't know what we're gonna do with the roll cage yet, color-wise. At least as of right this second. I'm between like a really cool red, if I can find one with like a nice flake, or I did on my Miata when I had done my front end, I found this like really cool, like silver, like gray with like a really nice silver flake to it. So I don't know, we'll see. I'm not entirely sure. We'll kind of discuss some ideas. In the meantime, if I don't find it by the end of the video, I'll probably start asking around. But yeah, if anyone's good with like Power Tune Digital Dash and linking that with the Link ECU and everything, greatly appreciate a little help. If not, no big deal. Figure it out on my own like I normally do, or at least attempt to. So yeah, aside from that, we'll probably do, like I said, so attack thermostat. Hopefully get some new fuel in it sometime soon here too. Probably check some plugs and stuff to see how they look. Drain the coolant system, pull the interior and stuff out of the inside, and kind of go from there. But yeah, in the meantime, I did, hoping it's not as shaky now. We're gonna find out. But yeah, in the meantime, I just cleaned up a little bit of the harness in here. It was already super cleaned up, and there's still like some other things I have to do. Like I gotta throw that on a trigger and everything for ignition, or for like not even ignition, just full power to the car. And then because we don't have headlights right now, the whole front portion of the wire specialties chassis harness, good lord, is still sitting in here. I haven't like pulled it through out here yet, just because it's don't need it right as of right this second. So yeah, we're definitely gonna try to get that wiper motor hooked up and throw some wipers back on us once I get some new windshield and stuff. And I have had a couple guys reach out already to help me out with the windshield, which is super awesome. So huge shout out to them. I appreciate all the help and everything and support from you guys and all of that. Yeah, aside from that, let's get into the thermostat at least. So I don't know how I'm gonna really film this 100%. Hold on, drink break. Also, if I sound stuffy, I have like crazy bad allergies that I take allergy meds for it and it just doesn't do anything, so it is what it is. It just makes me feel like I'm incredibly out of shape, which sucks. So yeah, I'll probably start the video real fast. That way I can restart it, so when I start this I can like time lapse it, because I'm still learning like the whole editing stuff, which has been a fun and interesting concept. So I'm still looking for someone that would want to do that on this journey. And yeah, all right. So, small update. We got the thermostat housing off and everything. Bink! I had to clean it up a little bit. It's just kind of gross and just corroded and whatnot. So, that is the old thermostat. That's the new one we're going to be putting in. But, look at... Let's see if I can't get a light on that. Hold on. Grab my phone. I don't know how well you can see in there, but she is gross. That's a GK Tech fan, by the way, I was trying to show before. But yeah, so that's fun. We're gonna clean that out the best we can and throw some sealant on her and slap it all together. Yeah, pretty much it. Alright, so update, because I honestly don't know really where we left off. I want to know, or I know, here, we'll just go like this. New thermostat's in, that's sealed up and everything. Has had a couple days to like seal it, everything. Fast forward a few days, by the way. Don't have the fan shroud on right now just because I want to make sure that is what the reason, or the problem is that we're having behind the thermostat. Coolant not circulating right is the fact that it's just that. Polish this up a little bit so she's a little shinier. Got everything hooked back up. Still got to fill it with some distilled water and some wetter water. Or water wetter, whatever. However it goes. I'll show you whenever I get it. Aside from that, yeah, we got the front of that painted. Just little things. Clean it up just a little bit so I don't forget to do it eventually. Next up we're going to tackle is we're going to start getting the whole interior pulled apart. Another little update into what we're kind of planning on the interior is, aside from getting the seats and everything out, like everything kind of prepped and ready so I can get the roll cage painted and like the floor and everything else, like also it's matching this front gray up here. I think we're also going to come back and, because Tony and them were already super cool enough to do the stitch welding in the front, disregard my dash and everything, we're gonna probably flock this before we get it set up to like get everything kind of hooked up there. Either way, also we still have to get a battery for it too. That's out of my Miata, that's too small, which is pretty funny. We're gonna start doing stitch welding around both shock towers, and I'm probably also gonna make a brace too. Not 100% sure if there's like a ton of deflection, but more or less just as like an extra safety precaution, just in case something were to ever happen, to help keep everything from shifting too much. I think there's a couple seams up on the trans tunnel and around there that I gotta do some stitch welding on, but the primary concern is gonna be back here. We're gonna do that, like I said, then we're gonna make the little strut brace, so it shouldn't be too bad around the strut towers. That's the word. Aside from that, most of the stuff is going to be just running through some of the extra wiring on the wiring specialties stuff, just because we're not using everything that you would use originally, like stock and all that. So I got to get all like this stuff put together and blah blah blah, but slowly but surely. Pretty much my whole thought process is, like I've said a couple different times, I want to get the interior done when I have everything pulled out of it. I don't want to have to pull it all back out again in the future and be like, oh, I forgot to do this, or why didn't I do that while I was in there now? So what we'll do, before we really start diving into getting all this kind of set up in a more permanent spot on where it's going to be, it's all going to kind of get unhooked from where it's at now, moved up here. We'll get all this kind of taped off. That way we keep any overspray and everything off the electronics of the wire harness, stuff like that. I did find out we don't have, well, I mean, it's there, it's inside of the cabin. I'll show you. Yeah, it might be hard to see, but down there's a little coil of wires. It's essentially the front half of the wiring specialty harness, like the headlights and everything. I have, sorry, I kind of, if I look disheveled, it's because it's right after work and everything. I'm trying to get some stuff done because we also have a game tonight, so always something. All right, fast forward another couple days. Sorry, it's really bright out. And we finally have pretty much everything wired down, grinded down for all the seam, stitch welding, couldn't think of the word. Yeah, so we got the whole front up here done, we got back here done, so I'm going to be doing this seam here, back into here. I'm gonna mark like every 1.5 inch, something like that. And once I do all that, I'm gonna take a little like flat edge and just make sure I kind of pinch it down so there isn't any like weird little gaps like right here. You can see like a little one. There's one, some up here, just to kind of bring those down so that I'm not trying to build a wall. But yeah, aside from that, we'll check back in. It's also incredibly hot outside right now, but we'll take it. We had a long, crappy spring where it was just cold and wet, so I'm I'm all right with it. So see you in a bit. Okay, coming back after a very small incident in the rear. We got the front and the trans tunnel all done. Now, keep in mind, I am no professional, okay? This is the first time I've ever stitch welded a car, so it's not super pretty, but it'll work. So yeah, got the whole front half done. Cleaned it up, still got to paint it and stuff. Here's the seams around the trans tunnel. Stuff like that. Now, in the rear, was something, okay? Did the driver's side, going great, no problems, no issues, nothing like that. Now, let me show you, that's what I mean. So, did up around the fender well, did around the strut tire, which was like the most important part, blah, 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 all the way around. I'm gonna leave that seam open, just because I'm gonna be doing a strut brace anyway, so I'm not really super stressed out. Now, started over here, as you can tell, that was a little wider, went up and around, same plan, going great. I get about over there, and I think I have it on video. For some reason, I like see a lot of smoke, and it's coming out of here. And I'm like, well, what the hell? Well, there's this random piece of plastic that was still in there. No idea what the hell it was for, nor do I really care. But yeah. Goodbye. But yeah, so yeah, that caught on fire down in there. Got it pretty early. Threw some water on it, totally fine. Continued on. Finished up around there. Got around the strut tires. I made these ones a little tighter than I did around the wheel well, just because I want that to be a little stiffer than anything else. Yeah, aside from that, that's pretty much done. I guess next step is gonna be, oh, I cracked my lens. Of course I did. Anyway, next step's probably gonna be getting the rest of it kind of like prepped, painted, cleaned up. I gotta vacuum the crap out of it, so I can get the rest of it painted. So check back in a few and we'll go from there. Okay, so I know I'm all over the place for this video, and I apologize, but it's just been a crazy day. So a little bit of a recap before we do like a final outro thing. Back of the car. So we got everything painted, all finished up here. I was starting to make some door cards for the side. That's gonna wait for a little while. It's pretty tough not having the right stuff to bend that. But nonetheless, the hatch release, I'm thinking I might throw on the roof. Don't know yet, but nonetheless, got everything rewired for the most part, and like ran, I think, how I'm gonna want to run it. Kind of cleaned up the back end, everything down here along the bottom of that, coming up into here. This all looks like a mess right now, because I actually was just getting the dash fitted in, cut some of that stuff. I gotta flock this whole thing, clean it up really nice, make a nice like little aluminum insert here for the digital dash and all that stuff. So till then, that's gonna hang out there. I did it while the seats were out, but I think just to finish this video off, I'm gonna get the seats put back in and probably call it there. So little recap of everything because it's been all over the place, and I'm just exhausted. Got the thermostat replaced. Put the fan housing back on. Filled it up. We're running water and water, or water wetter, however you call it. No coolant this year. Best that I can, at least. Got the roll cage and the interior all painted and stitch welded. So we got the front of the transmission done, back of the transmission, like all of that, back strut towers and everything. Still want to make a strut tower brace at some point. Not doing it today. I feel like I did a lot in this video, if I'm being honest. Hopefully I use all of it. If I don't, we'll find out. Well, you guys will. I will, I guess. Long story short, got all that put back together. Got the seats back in the car. I'll have a time lapse of that. Those were rough putting in, because I took the seats off the brackets instead of the brackets off the other brackets. Would not, 10 out of 10 wouldn't recommend it. If, again, next time I'll just take the brackets off. Yeah, got the seats in. I did fit and cut the dash before I put the seats back in, just so after I flock it and everything, I could just kind of slide it in. I have the harness rerouted a little bit, just to make it a little easier, kind of for future, more or less. Yeah. Aside from that, I think the next step, aside from getting the dash and stuff locked, I'll probably do in the next video. Need to get a new battery. I got a buddy down at our local battery outlet. It's gonna hook me up, so we're gonna run that. I'm gonna hook that in, find out if we're kind of where the little disruption is. We're gonna unhook the fuel line from the fuel rail, drain all the old fuel out, throw some new 93 in it. Maybe some injector cleaner just to see if there's any gunk in there. We can clean it out. Aside from that, yeah, see how that goes from there. See what the motor does. Get it warmed up to temp so it opens the thermostat, bleed the rest of the coolant system. Find out if my power tune digital dash is showing me all the stuff I need to. If not, I need to reach out to them. I think I'm just, one of the little settings is wrong from communicating with the ECU. You have to go in and you have to I don't know. Anyone that's used them knows what they have to do. I'm still kind of learning it, but I have to go in, choose a certain platform that the ECU is, hook it into the power tune, and blah blah blah, all that. It's all the boring stuff. I'll explain it later. Pretty much, got a lot done on the car. I'm exhausted. I'm super excited about how it came out. It looks awesome. This is a really cool color. I have no idea what we're doing for the outside yet still, but at least now it's neutral. So whatever we do, this will look good. Yeah. Aside from that, I guess just share with your friends, tell your friends, subscribe if you really want to. I don't know. It's kind of still weird saying all that because I've never really thought I'd ever be doing any of this. So it's super cool to have the opportunity. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment if you want. If you're one of the guys from the track, I don't know, think of something either funny to say or to comment, or I don't know, livery ideas. I know Vinny gave me, he wants it to be a fire truck, which is super funny. But yeah, thanks for watching and tuning in. Sorry if it's kind of a long one and all over the place. I didn't really have a plan for this. My brain kind of goes in 8 million directions. So yeah, anyway, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching and talk to you soon. Peace.